machine. Scalping seconds, slicing fast. Ride the wave, don't let it pass. Green and red, they set the tone. Win or lose, I'm in the zone. Trade the dots, connect the line. Profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, sharp and clean. Living life on this money machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend, I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Trade the dots, connect the line. Profits calling.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Sound check, mic check, screen check, all check. Good morning. Give me everything. Let me know you guys hear me okay. Everything is good. We're clean to go. Good morning. Very excited. All right, everything fixed, ready to go. All green on the screen. And I'm going to share with you like my new layout that I have going on over here, which I really like. I'm actually just gonna, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do this right now. This is my gold layout, but I'll share. It's the same layout, just for different instruments. So let me do this. I'm just gonna go in here, layout menu, export layout, copy. I'm pasting this into chat. You guys can have it in chat, okay? All right, so I'll go through this obviously very slowly, but we actually have a trade coming up here in gold. You see gold has a white dot, green slope, positive move here. If we stay at this level, we're gonna go trade the gold trade. And I'm gonna show you how like the whole new layout really helps you keep track of all the trades that we're doing, because there's basically a layout for every instrument: gold, Nasdaq, S&P. We're going to try and trade them in different accounts. So I'm going to try and trade gold in the 102 account, Nasdaq in the 110 account, S&P in the 103 account. Or maybe S&P in the 103. It's just Nasdaq 103 and then S&P in the 110. We'll just do it that way. All right, we got a trade here. I'm just waiting. Boom, buy. So watch this. What's very cool about this is we bought the trade, and we also have the DOM in this layout, so you can actually see that the trade is marked at 65.8, targeting 66.2 on a 2 size, which is basically my sweet spot entry trade on $25,000 accounts. I'll talk a lot about that in a little bit, but just basically doing it this way, you can really see cleanly and clearly where your trade is at, what size you're at, where your exits, where your entries are. I think this is just a cleaner, cooler layout. I cannot, the way this works is unfortunately, we have a trade bar over here, which is the new trade bar, which I really like using. And then we also have a trade bar over here. It stays like right now, in this version of wealth charts, you can't get rid of this one. You don't really need this. I mean, you could enter trades from this one or from this one. Obviously, I like entering trades from this trade bar better. But the more important part, the much more important part from a visualization point of view, is the fact that you know exactly where your trade is marked at. You know where the exits are. Where you can actually move them around if you wanted to move them. I could drag this over here. I could drag that over there. It's all connected. If I was going to change my parameters, I'm not going to change my parameters. But I hope you guys really like this this new layout. I think it's I think it's a good one. So that's it. Trading gold, opening trade for Marathon Friday. We're going to trade 8 to 12 today. Try to go 4 hours. I'm going to trade across all, not across all assets, but across the 3 assets that we trade: Nasdaq, S&P, and gold. But one asset per account. That's sort of my paradigm today. Both longs and shorts in the gold account, longs and shorts in the Nasdaq account, longs and shorts in the S&P account. And just for shits and giggles, because we have such a huge discount. Those of you guys can see this right now. If you use the word BK Save 90 on this link, let me just do this. You get I'm the only one that has this now. I have the 90% discount for wealth charts. Okay. So let me just put this in. I don't have this correctly. BK Save 90. Make sure you use the word BK Save 90. I'm actually gonna buy an account with you, right with you right now, so you can see how it's done. And maybe we'll buy another one midday. Just a garbage account. I'm gonna buy a $50,000 garbage account. What that means is we're gonna take like all non-setup trades. All just, let me fuck around and play around with some ideas, or maybe I'm just bored, or maybe people want to just see the general thesis in play trades into this garbage account because it's so damn cheap. So let me show you how this is done. If you already have an Apex account, you just go into your Apex login here and you log in. Let me see if I can get in here. Log in with your username. Okay. I'm going to log in with my private name. Apex now has Authenticator, so I have to use Authenticator. Just come in. Hang on a second. Hang on. It's changing numbers. 921394. 921394. Okay. All right. So I'm in. Very, very important. This 90% discount is only good for wealth charts. Don't choose anything else. Just choose wealth charts. We're going to go to wealth charts. I'm going to hit BK Save 90. 90. Very important. Don't forget 90. BK Save 90. Click this. Go over here. And it's a whopping $16, right? So I'm going to take this off screen because I'm tired of changing my credit card info since, I've been known to just show my credit card info. So let me just put this on my card right now. Hang on. Subscribe and pay. I'll give it a second. Okay. And once you've paid, this is what it does. It just says, thank you so much. You bought this account. We're done. Okay. So I'm going to close this up, right? I'm going to close this up. And what's really, really cool about wealth charts is you're going to see the account literally pop up over here. It's just going to pop up over here in about 2-3 minutes. So I'm going to have a brand new account that we can play with, right? That we can totally play with on the charts. Meantime, gold not going much anywhere. It's not a surprise. I mean, I've had obviously winning trades in gold here for a few beforehand. Gold has been positive bid since, Jesus Christ, since 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 8. It's been a 6-hour trend. Every single buy signal on my dots signal has been a winner in gold. So it's not a surprise that you got like 6 or 7 winners. The last one could be a loser. I mean, it's exhausted. So if it doesn't work, we're gonna repair the trade on the next legitimate signal. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The cool thing about Marathon is I get to show you hopefully trade entries, instrument entries, anything else you want to know, and probably repair entries, because it's unlikely that that we're probably going to hit some losers as well. And then just what I casually call is fuck around trades, which are just going to populate over here in about a couple of minutes. You'll actually see the account pop up here, and we can use that account as our trading account. Can you mark an account specially as garbage account? Do you have to remember? No, you got to remember the number, my friend. Come on, it's not like you get to change the account name. In this case, it's easy. The 50,000 will be the garbage account. Okay, that'll be the garbage account. So it'll be fun. Good evening, Kenya. Is it cold or hot there today? Because it's hot in New Jersey. Good morning, Wally. Good morning, everybody. All right, who's new in the room here? Give me a raised hand. Say me. Feel free to make that suggestion to Wealth Charts. Okay. Oh, let me turn on comments so everybody can see comments scrolling up. China, dude. First of all, Peter Taljard, are you Dutch? It's got to be a Dutch name. Are you an expat in China? Kathy's having a great time on the beach with her kids, sending pictures every day. So she's enjoying herself. Very nice, Peter. Okay. Well, Mihao, is that it? Mihao, welcome. So who else is new? Let's go. I want to see some new hands. Say yes to me. Say hi, I'm new. I want to know what the fuck you're doing. I want to know how you make money. Because this is a participatory live. We hang out here for 4 hours. I want you guys asking me questions. That's the only way you're going to learn the answers. Oh, look at this. See what I tell you. Look how fast that was. See the 50,000? Pop right up, right? Very, very cool, right? You see that? Pop right up. By the way, my favorite little tool here. We can mark it. See that over there? Very cool. Delete this. And I'll go back to my cursor. All right, first time, Peter. See, Peter is saying hi. There's 1,000 guys lurking around here that I know are new. Say hi to me. Just say hi. I'm not going to bite your head, but I want to know who's new so I can turn. A third time is new. Any time, if you're less than 5 times, you're new. But I'm going to explain to you exactly what I do, how we do it, why we do it, and hopefully you guys like it. Talk to me. Let's go. Twitter bastards. I know there's a ton of you on Twitter over there. Say hi to me from Twitter. You're on the stream. Say hi. I see you're coming in by the 100 load right now. There we go. See, Ginny, thank you. Myrtle Beach. Oh, I love Myrtle Beach. Very nice. Beautiful. Okay, here's a question before we start. Let's do a little bit of a poll. Everybody get into the poll for me. I trade futures. Wait, I trade, let's do even better. Let's do prop futures. This is a much cleaner question. Yes, no, I trade prop futures. The reason I want to know is how many of you guys have ever traded this, and I hope to, those of you who haven't, I hope to introduce you to the best, funnest game in the world, which is prop futures trading on the thing. Birmingham, Alabama. Is that right? DOHC currency. Is that correct? Huzefa, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Oh, who's that for, dude? You're trying to promote on my feed. Do you have no shame? Do you not think I'm going to kick your ass out here for doing that? Goodbye. Goodbye, my friend. Okay. Answer my poll, because this is a really, really good question. Because those of you who do, this is probably one of the best strategies in the world to do this. Those of you who don't, this is a great strategy to start with. A great strategy to start with, because it's super easy. West Coast Canada, Randy, interested in futures. Well, this is the way to do it. My whole point is, if you've never traded futures and you don't want to lose $10,000 in a month, which is the basic introductory fee for anybody who wants to trade futures, right? Who's ever traded futures, we all know that's pretty much the cost of just learning how to press a button costs you $10,000 in futures. We all know this, right? All of us who've traded futures for years know it's a incredibly fun instrument that takes away your money faster than you can say gone. This is so much better way of getting involved with the market, getting the exact same, getting much better benefits because you have much less risk, but getting the potential of making money without risking money, which is why I really excited about teaching you about prop. Edmonton, Alberta, nice to see you. Michelle, is it like, are you guys, is it the West Coast? You're up at 5 in the morning? You are a beast. Good for you. Randy, also 5 in the morning, West Coast, Canada. Are you guys in BC? Edmonton. Wow. Dennis, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hi. Hi. Joe, you too. Joe, are you on the West Coast? It's 5 in the morning for you? I didn't know you were on the West Coast. Oh, man. Look at you guys. Look at you. All right, hang tight just 1 sec. I just got to see who's texting me on Discord here and bothering me this time of the day. Oh, of course, it's the Queen. Just 1 sec, guys. Bulgaria, nice. Our favorite CFD broker, 8cap, has a very big big presence in Bulgaria. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, now that everybody is gotten there. Sorry, the Queen is bothering me. Okay. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to do with you guys. Okay, so literally 50% of you have never traded prop futures, which is nice. It's interesting to know because that means 50% of you are like, have an incredibly interesting discovery in front of you, right? So prop futures trading, to put it very simply, is the ability to trade the market, the actual futures market, which you're looking at, real prices, real instruments, real stuff, right? In a simulated fashion. So this is not actually real $25,000 money. It's simulated money, which if I reach certain targets, I get paid out real money. It's like playing Monopoly, but winning actual real dollars. Okay, that's the game. The game is prop firms all across the world, but our favorite platform, Apex, basically create a structure where everybody pays evaluation fees, and if they can pass the test, they then are eligible for the next phase, which is where they get paid out. So if you have like a real account, like this is a real account. If that account goes to 26,500, I'm going to get paid out money. I just have to make $1,500 on it. So it's a very, very cool concept because you're spending minuscule amount of money. Now, by minuscule, I really mean minuscule because our friends at Apex, our friends at Wealth Charts, and us literally have combined to give it to you virtually for free. This is a $150,000 account, this $50,000 account, which I just bought for 16 bucks because I have a 90% discount. So even if you've never traded before, even if you've never done anything before, this is, and by the way, it's going to go away in 24 hours. So those prices are going to go right back up and you're not going to be able to get the kind of discounts. It's really fun, just fun to go buy like 5 or 10 of them, right? And then you can hold them, for as long as you want. They're gonna renew if you want to keep them. They're gonna renew at the same $16 rate instead of a $150 rate going forward. So it's incredibly good deal. For those of you who are already in the prop business, you are given a gift. Fucking take it. Take it. Don't be an asshole. Don't come to me crying tomorrow saying, "Oh, I really, really wanted to buy it." Buy it now, because we all know that this is a gift to have $250,000, $500,000 worth of tradable capital at your fingertips. Even if you succeed at 10% of it, you're still going to be able to get paid out thousands of dollars on that capital. So that's prop trading in a nutshell, and it's awesome. It's awesome for all sorts of reasons, but the most important part is it's literally the single best way to learn how to trade. Okay? And that's why I love it. That's why I do these things with you guys. That's why we do marathon days, so we could just talk a lot about the subject and all the various permutations of it, and any kind of nuances. And most importantly, we can show you the strategy that basically passes 8 out of 10 tests. An 80% rate in a business where the failure is 95%. 5% of people without my strategy pass the test. Like 5% of people who are just randomly coming in saying, "Hey, let me try this. This is a lot of fun. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll get lucky." The maybe I'll get lucky crowd, which is like everybody who trades prop without a business plan. Only 5% of those people get lucky. 80% of the people who trade with us in my coaching, let me put my coaching link here. In my coaching link, pass these tests and then go on to then get funded and get paid out. So it's a super, super cool thing. Yeah, it does not trade forex. So first order of business, that's why I was asking, have you ever traded futures? Now, let me explain to you why futures are a million, a trillion, a bazillion, as our president will say, a trillion times better than forex. Okay, for learning how to trade and for just trading in general. The reason why is because futures is one single centralized market driven by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the biggest exchange in the world. Now, what you see is my trade over here, right? And this is what's called a ladder, where the bids and the offers are exchanged, right? I have a tiny trade in here, but because I am first to this trade and I'm first to exit this trade out, let's say there's $2 billion that wants to sell at 66.6, but they are 1 second behind me. Guess who gets that trade done in front of them? Guess who gets that trade executed before the $2 billion hedge fund? Me. It's a first come, first serve. Every single trade has an audit trail. There is zero chance you get screwed on execution because literally every single microsecond of transactions is recorded in a centralized book, and you can always analyze it. Okay. That's why people are flipping over to futures. Futures is the cleanest, purest most fair market in the world. Doesn't mean, things go your way. Doesn't mean that when markets go crazy, you don't get shitty execution, but that's markets. That's not the problem of the broker. The point being is that in futures markets, you're never trading with a broker. You are trading with a centralized exchange, whose only job is to make sure that every single trade is first in, first out. If you're first to the bid, doesn't matter how big you are, you have priority. And that's an incredibly powerful thing about futures. And that's why futures are so much much fun. So Arthur is asking, where can you learn about the dot strategy? Well, to really, really, really learn about the dot strategy, you have to join my coaching, which is what I'm basically putting. I'm putting my link in here for my coaching. The very, very cool part about my coaching. Let me see if I can actually. Wonder if I can click this. Yeah. So here's, this link will tell you everything that that we offer. It's about a $3,000 deal that we're offering for $597. But that's not even what I'm offering, because what I'm offering is, if you get into my coaching, I'm actually going to buy you 5 free accounts. Everybody who bought yesterday, I already sent out all the credits. And I already, you guys, somebody who bought yesterday, please confirm in chat that I was good to my word. I gave you the credit, and you can buy 5 free accounts. Please confirm to everybody that I am true to my word, and I did that. So basically, what it means is that you get coaching plus 5 free prop accounts to start you off on your journey. It's really, really a lot of fun. And it's super, super cool. Even as I say this, we're within one tick of getting blown out, and that's not, there we go, we got stopped out. So actually very cool. I'm actually glad that we start the first trade as a loss instead of a win, because now we have a chance to play repairman. Now you got to see, what am I going to do next to try to repair this losing condition? And it's going to be interesting, because I'm obviously going to wait very patiently for the next proper setup to happen in order for us to repair this trade. In the meantime, I'm going to look at Nasdaq. I'm going to look at S&P. Oh shoot! We had a trade in the S&P while I was. Oh, why did this pop up? Hang on a second. Did I not? Let me see if my what am I? Log. Why did the S&P not show pop up? Damn it. Hang on a second. I'm setting up buy sequence, create, add alert. I'm just doing it off screen. Sell sequence alert. I'm just setting up alerts on the S&P, because we had a very, very nice clean trade here that I could have taken, which I just didn't have the alert pop up on my hand, but hopefully it will pop up next time. See, Keith is confirming it, just letting you know. So my word is my bond. Good morning, Miguel. How are you? My word is my bond that part of my coaching is literally 5 free prop accounts at current discount rates, which is really, really awesome, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the setup, how it works, why this one, for example, did not work. That's it was actually very explanatory. But let's do this step by step. My setup is very, very simple. First, we start with a long-term moving average, which is this is a 200 period moving average. Okay, it's 200. Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to just delete this. This one is an 8 period moving average, right? So 200, 8 period. They are SMAs, nothing more complex than simple moving averages. We don't need anything more. We don't care. All we care about is trend detection. Is there a trend? Is there a trend? So in this case, yes, there's an uptrend, right? So that's step number one, question number one. Is there an uptrend, right? The next question we want to ask ourselves is there momentum? And momentum is classified in our chart, in our indicator, by these green dots. A green dot means positive momentum. Okay, positive momentum. You guys see this? These little green dots, that's positive momentum. So the question is, one, I have positive trend. Two, I have positive momentum, right? But that's just the beginning of our detection process, of our trade detection process. So once we have positive trend, positive momentum, the very next thing we look at is a sequence of the type of positive momentum that we really like, which is the white dot, green dot. White dot, green dot means it's coming from a lower source of momentum to a higher source. That's the third thing we look for. So we need positive trend, positive momentum in a form of white dot, green dot, right? I'm going to delete this so it's not so complicated. And then the very, very last thing that we look for, if we don't have it, no trade. We want this little slice of the SMA to be green, telling us that the slope of the simple moving average is green, right? Is green. Now, all those three things are very, very valuable for an uptrend. One last thing that we need to be mindful of is how long the trend has been in place. This trend has been in place for 8 hours. It's incredibly old. And because it's old, it's generally going to be more, it's going to be less accurate. Like, in other words, if the trend just started an hour ago or 2 hours ago, it's like a young trend. It has much higher probability of continuing upward, right? This trend is clearly getting exhausted. So even though I have like all of these rules in my arsenal, I'm perfectly mindful of the fact that all of these signals could still be a fake signal in my trade. So given the fact that it's kind of a fake, I'm not really vibing the signal, I'm really not going to get large on this size and try to resolve this trade right away. I'm going to just simply trade the exact same size I traded before and see what, see how the trade works out, because the trend has clearly stalled here. So even though I have all of my indicators, this is the only subjective part. Oh, hang on a second, I got to go by. So now I'm in the position again, 65.5, targeting 66.3, right? So I didn't go full size, which is like a much larger size. Try to resolve this trade right away, again, because I've already seen that there's a lot of stall, and because we also know that gold is by far the most difficult instrument of all of these things to trade, because it kind of stalls out quite a lot. I'm mindful of that, so I don't really want to. I like the trade. It's a legit setup, but it's very, very mature in my trend. And let's see if we get done. Looks like we're through. We're done. So I was being cautious. I could have taken this full size and made money on it, but I'd rather be cautious than aggressive with you guys, just to show you how I'm going to be interpreted. But anyways, this trade got resolved. Now, had I done this in a full force format, I would have gone. I had a position of 2 micros. I would have gone 1 mini. And 1 mini would have completely erased all of my losses and give me full profits on this thing. But in this case, I'm okay with just getting some profits back and waiting for the next setup to go. Because what I'm interested in looking over here is, okay, we had a very, very long trend. Everything is kind of stabilized here. It's Friday. Are we really going to push higher? If we really push higher, fine. I'm there with you. Let me just get rid of this. If we get to 70 or higher, then the whole trend kind of starts, a second leg up. But it could easily just be also exhausting itself. And if it's exhausting itself, I'm happy to step away. I don't know why you had a 2-step. Nobody. This is we're in YouTube. There's no a notification to get in chat. I don't know what happened to you there, Steve. But So Arthur is asking me what step we use. I use, and again, this is my own approach to the whole thing. Remember, the setup is the structure: trend, momentum, slope. How you want to use stops and targets is up to you. Now, I use a very, very negative risk reward structure because I'm looking to resolve every one of my trades. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today, since we got Marathon Friday, is actually how I'm going to chop up my target, my $1,500 target, into very tiny, manageable trades and achieve that target over and over and over again. I'm going to basically disclose to you my whole trading business plan today. Michael, this is the BF dots, which if you're part of no, you don't. This is a derivative of the BK scalper, which you should have if you're part of coaching. And if you're not part of coaching, then you need to become part of coaching. But this is only available for coaching on this. If you don't have it and you're part of coaching, email me your name and address, your name and email address. I'll take a look and then I'll have it enabled for you. Okay. Can I record a video on setting up a charts? I'll do it this weekend. Yeah, Gerald, I'll do it. That's a good idea. I'll do like a loom on this for everybody, and that's gonna save everybody some time. Yeah. So Michael says you have it, but you don't know how to set that up. Michael, very, very simple. You're in wealth charts. You go into add indicators. You look at marketplace, more indicators. You watch Boris Schlossberg, and you just click BFF dots only. If you have Boris Schlossberg, you should have both of these. So you just click this and add to your chart, and then you should have that indicator. That's how it goes. All right. All right. I'm watching what else is going on in the stock land. We don't have any trades in stocks. Equities are negative bid. The large trend below the short-term trend below, but it's positive slope. Negative bid, positive slope means we are recovering towards positive trend, right? We are recovering towards positive trend. The most recent price action is positive for the S&P. The most recent price action for Nasdaq is flat, not even remotely. The most recent price action for gold is kind of flat. It's positive bid, but flat slope, sort of. That's where we stand. Okay, no problem. All right. So who's new here? What was it, Peter? Lady from Myrtle Beach. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. So we had a long discussion about this yesterday in coaching, Ron. Almost everybody I know who's complaining is a cheater. Okay, they literally are all cheating. You got to understand that, like every prop firm, because Apex makes it so easy and has so few rules, people cheat all the fucking time. One of the most common ways they do it is they'll take the same trade in two separate accounts and try to hit targets. Okay, they'll take literally they'll buy like 100 past accounts and just lever it up through one or two trades on Trade Copier, and then when they get lucky, they hit all those targets. So 90% of the complaints, and I've seen them, are just incredible bullshit. I mean, just such bullshit that it makes you want to cry in pathetic laughter. Everybody who I have coached and who has passed and who's gotten paid out has never had any problems, because we play by the rules. Okay. They are very good about everything they've ever said to me, they've done. Their word has been bond to me. So I have no issues with them. I find them to be the best firm, the easiest firm to pass the prop test with, and the cleanest, easiest way to pass your evaluation with, to get paid out with. Yeah. So, Peter, is it clear to you basically what we do? Trend, momentum, slope. It's a super simple 3-step strategy to find entry points in our direction. Now, we also use the exact same strategy for counter trend trades. So if I am, I don't have any counter trend signals right now, but if I was going to have a purple dot, a red dot, meaning coming up from high to low and a negative slope and a red slope, I would be short gold in a counter trend trade. So we can go both ways. Although Rob Hoffman, who owns Wealth Charts and is a great trader, really much better trader than almost everybody in this room, always yells at me because he says that I should just simply only be looking for trend trades. And he's absolutely right. Trading with trend generally is always a much more higher payoff structure. But I like to trade both ways. The key thing is that I have a defined structure for both ideas. And that's what I look for in my trades. I'm just looking through everything here. It's very, very quiet. We have no signals, nothing much going on. As I said, it's sort of a situation where we have negative bid, negative trend, positive recovery. That's really where we're at. So that's why the markets are a little bit mixed up. There's a lot of contradictory signals. We don't have anything going on. As far as I did Mooncake, and I actually had a hard time figuring it out. Okay, so I could not. It wasn't as obvious. I think you sort of stepped through a lot. You went through like there's about 5 or 6 steps that you did not include in your instruction. I'm happy if you're going to email me. I'm happy to screen share with you sometime, maybe next week, and you can walk me through, because I'd love to know it. But you definitely skipped a few steps because there was no way I could get that going up there. Do I trade all 3 of the gold contracts? There's only one gold contract. What do you mean by all 3? Please define it. Yeah, mail me out. It's fine. Ginny, right? Sorry, Ginny. Now I won't forget. Anyways, Ginny, is that clear to you? What we're trying to do here, if you sort of trade it, these are very, very basic principal concepts, but when put together, they yield very, very profitable ideas. So, for example, right now we're looking at the S&P, right? I'm looking at the S&P. My opening trade on the S&P is I want four contracts on the micros, because I'm basically going to do 20 trades. In the next hour, I'm going to talk to you about my trading plan, and I'm going to show you how I chopped up my trading plan into very, very manageable pieces of trades that hopefully makes enormous amount of sense for you. It's basically a plan to pass the test in 10 days in a very methodical manner. Could actually probably do it in less, but I'm just going to give myself like 10 days to get 10 days to get funded is kind of like my plan. And we're going to try and do this for the next couple of weeks to see where we stand. So back to reality, back to trading the market. What do we have here? I have, back to my little thing here, I have a purple dot. I might have a red dot. If I get a red dot, the way it looks right now, yes, the slope is, you see how the slope is red? You see that the little tip over here, that's red? That's telling me that momentum on the 8-period SMA has started to turn our way. We want everything red. Red, red, red for shorts, green, green, green for longs, right? So in this case, we have almost everything red. I don't have a red dot. If I don't have a momentum dot, I don't have a trade. I got 25 seconds, 16 seconds on the clock. So, it's I'm going to take this off here on the charts, and we'll see. We'll see if it holds. If it does, this candle closes. Let me see what's. Oh no, it is finally telling me that I have a sell signal on the S&P. Oh, just missed it. Just missed the sell signal. See, no dot, no trade. Now this is very, very tempting. You're like, oh, it's so close. You should short this, and the answer is no. If this thing is going to go down, we have plenty of time on the next candle and the next candle, right? Our job is not to, our job is to be actually very, very selective. And you see why. because a lot of times the market will fake you out. The whole idea of this particular setup is to be as selective as possible so that you could take the highest probability trades, the easiest trades to kill, right? The ones that put up the least amount of resistance. So far, momentum is just not our way. They found support at the 63.45, and the buyers are coming in. Let's see what the news was so far today. Let me refresh this. Building permits slightly higher. Housing starts a little bit better. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, and we have U of M coming up at 10 o'clock. Really not much today. Really not much today on the calendar. But honestly, generally the bid in the market is pretty positive. Nasdaq is kind of flat. S&P starting to weaken out a little bit, but no signals just yet. 8:45 at around 9:25. Even if we have signals, we're not going to take them because we're going to give ourselves like a 10-minute holiday before the market opens up, because the volatility at that time gets a little crazy. I don't know how that's possible, Carol. It's literally on the Apex web chat. Let me show you where you would go. You would go to wealth charts. This is what I want you to do. Whatever you did wrong. Okay, go to wealth charts. Go to forward Apex. Okay, go over here. Go all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Go buy this one. It will cost you $16. Use BK Save 90. BK Save 90. Okay. That's what you need to buy. Castle in the market. You signed up for the $16 plan, but you did not sign up for coaching. If you don't have my coaching, you can't get my indicator. Okay, you're welcome to get the discount, but you can't get my indicator. So if you want the indicator, you need to be part of my coaching. That's the only way we're going to enable an indicator for you. Steve, I think I sent a whole new batch this morning. Give them till the afternoon. Give them to the afternoon, and you'll see them. And you see, look at this, fake out. The market is the ultimate 3-card Monte trade. It fakes you out all the time, and the job of my indicator is try to sniff out as much scam artists as possible, right? Not that that I'm able always to sniff out fake out trades, but that's really the power of my indicator. Besides finding good trades, is just avoiding bad trades. Avoiding bad trades is more profitable than hitting good trades, especially in the structure that we have. We're like an insurance company. I trade like an insurance company. The whole point of insurance company is to never pay out, to take as much money in and never pay any money out, right? I mean, everybody thinks that the insurance business is supposed to protect you. No, that the business is to take your money and never give it to you, right? They only give it to you when they absolutely have to. That's what a stop is. That's what a stop is in my business. A stop in my business is an insurance payout. So insurance is a great business. If you look at the insurance companies, AXA has been around for 2 centuries. Allstate has been around for 2 centuries. What's the other one? What's the other big German one? Oh, AXA. I forgot the German one that Equitable has been around for 3 centuries, or maybe AXA has been around for 3 centuries in the Poland. So there are almost no businesses that you could name, that, with the exception of maybe McDonald's, that have been around like for more than 50 years. There's literally no business from the 18th century or the 17th century that's around. That's a testament to how profitable insurance is. That's why I trade the insurance model. Chubb's been around. Allianz, right? Allianz, right? Allianz. Allianz is part of Equitable. I think that's what I mean. But anyways, all those guys have literally been around for triple centuries. Okay, they don't give a shit about technology. They don't care about anything. They just take your money and make money. What? By the way, what business do you think Warren Buffett is in? Well, like, why do you think he's the richest man in the world, or one of the richest men in the world? You think it's because he's picking stocks? No, it's because he has. Oh, hang on a second. Rob is calling me. I'm in the middle of my live. Hang on a second. Let me just talk to him. Hey, Rob, I'm in live. What's up? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. I'll just tell him to do that. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. That was the boss, and he just called me. He said, "All of you guys whose names I sent, all you got to do is hit refresh. Just refresh your list, and you'll have access to that indicator. So go ahead and do." So Buffett bought Geico, correct? Buffett bought Geico, which is what made him the $1 billion. Okay, which is actually, by the way, my insurance company, a really good insurance company. What's the time range that I trade? I trade on this particular case the 2 minute time frame. We're scalping. We're looking for short, quick, winning trades. It's just right now in the last hour, we really haven't had. We only had like 1 or 2 opportunities. Usually, we should have about 2 or 3 opportunities an hour. That's what I'm looking for. 2 or 3 opportunities an hour, 3 or 4 hours. Make my hits and collect my P&L. So we will, we'll see. It's Friday. Friday sometimes can be a very tricky day. Usually I don't do marathon Fridays, but this is, the week we haven't had we did a CPI trade on Wednesday, and I didn't have a chance, to do one this week. So I figured, what the hell? Let's all have a good time on Friday. The queen is away, so she's not bothering me today with a million different projects. So I figured I'd just trade with you. So still a little bit quiet, no signals. Now, I also created a garbage account, right? And we can have a fun, let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to create a third layout. The cool thing about wealth charts is we can create as many layouts as possible. So here's what I'm going to do. This is the best. This is like the easiest way I love to do this. I'm just going to copy what I have. I'm going to go duplicate, right? I'm going to log into my garbage account, which is the 114 account, right? So that's going to go up here. The account is 114. That's my new $50,000 garbage account, right? And I'm going to rotate all sorts of instruments in here, but we'll keep this set up on Nasdaq, and this will be Nasdaq settings over here. And I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go to the layout menu. I'm going to say save as Boris. Oops. Garbage. Save. Oh, what happened to my thing? Wait. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. I know what I want to do. I don't want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. And we're going to save this layout as Boris Garbage. You see it says up here, Boris Garbage. So this one is GC for gold. This one is NQ for NASDAQ. This one is ES. And I forgot one thing. So what I want to do here is go to trading. Go to trading. Go to trading DOM. Drop it over here. Go to lookup symbol MNQU, which is the S&P micro. Now I have the trading DOM, which I absolutely love looking at as part, just a way to, and then I'm going to push it really, really close because it doesn't have to be wide. So now I'm just going to save this again, hit my save button, and everything is all set up. Okay, so here's a good example. This is a Nasdaq sell signal. Purple, red dot. The sell suggestion is the triangle tells you sell suggestion. But what do we notice over here? We notice one very important thing. The slope was kind of green to red. Really wasn't viable. So what we're going to do, this is the garbage account because we don't have a legitimate Nasdaq setup. We're going to wait and see if the slope stays red. And if the slope stays red on this particular candle, this is the third sequence of the candle, we are going to take a short in this trade. So it's 47 seconds left. I'm just going to wait patiently here. This is my $50,000 account, my garbage account, right? You see that's the 114. I have my setups already. Oh no, the brackets need to be saved. Sorry, let's do that. 20, stop, 80, close, and we're going to save that. And now it's all set up. And now I'm going to go into brackets just to make sure. Yeah, the brackets are correct. And unfortunately, I don't get the trade. Right, trade is just going away. So Nasdaq flirted with the idea of a sell trade, and on the very last minute, the candle completely reversed. So there's no momentum, nothing for us to do. So alas, I can't even take a garbage trade. But a good example again of why I'm not committing until I have all three things in my favor, because very often, only when you have 2 out of 3 variables, it's actually a false signal. The true signal, this is why it takes, the only discipline here is just not rushing your trades. The only discipline here is just literally waiting for the actual trade to present itself before you can do it. Okay, so you want to have fun with me? Again, let's go to my garbage account. I actually can just go to 114. I can just flip it over here to my garbage account. Let's go to my garbage account. So here's an example of not a setup, but part of the thesis of how I set up my whole trading idea. So in this particular case, we don't have a white dot, green dot. We have like 2 green dots. This was the signal over here. This signal would have been a winner, and that's it. And we should, after we get that signal, we should pretty much stand pat, wait for the next one. But if we want to take some aggressive trades that are in principle to what we want, which is momentum, trend, slope, all 3 things are lining up over here. All 3 things are lining up over here, and we get a chance to play with them. So I think it's this one. Let me see. I'm just curious to see if I'm just waiting for it to finish up on the candle before I go long. So in this case, I'm going to go long in my garbage account, the 114 account, because it's not a clean, clear trade. Wait till it closes. Boom. Okay, so I'm long, and yeah, it does. And this is so cool. You can click on the position. Right. So what you can see is that I'm long 48.25, 49.25 is my target. Now, will this work? It probably will. It's certainly a reasonable chance for it to work, but it's not a pure clean trade. It's not a super high probability trade. It's just a trade in sync with my general outlook of how I want to trade. And of course, there's a lot more signals like this than there's signals like this, which by its very definition means they're going to be less accurate. The more signals you have, less accurate they're going to be. But it's still good enough for you guys to get a good idea of what I mean in terms of understanding trading principles, which is you want to buy momentum when it presents itself most of the time. So anyways, you can see this. What's cool is you can see this on the charts here. We're 48.25 on the mark because that's little star is the entry. 49.25 is my exit. We'll see how this plays out. Good job, Steve. Steve confirmed that he got it. Everybody should have all the indicators. You guys should be all set on your refresh mode. So 9 o'clock, still half an hour before the open. We're kind of very quiet, very lackadaisical Friday trade. What's cool is that you can actually watch the bids and the ask trade on this DOM. So it makes it very, very intuitive and easy to follow the trade, right? Follow the trade both graphically and texturally. Let's see what Nasdaq is doing. Nasdaq also a little bit flat. Let's see what gold is doing, what gold looks like. Gold is really, really flat. Gold is just doing nothing. You see how gold just completely died out? So nobody seems to have any directional plays here. So we're fine. Let's see how many people traded prop for us. Oh, it's pretty good. About half of you trade props. So half of you have not. And so this is a really good introduction to you guys on prop. Nice to know. Nice to know. All right, super quiet. You know, we're just bouncing around. Let's see if over the last, what you can see that over the last hour, there's been steady, slow but steady buying of the S&P, right? And essentially, we're just trying to time that, trying to trade with that move in a time manner. You know, just kind of in a time manner. Let's see if if this pops up. Now, again, the beautiful thing about, first of all, the great thing about prop trading is it's simulated capital, so you're not. What, did I get done? No, I did not get done. What's my? Oh, sorry, it's hard. I'm just not watching it. So it's 49.25 on the offer. So I'm sitting on the offer. This is me sitting on the offer, and I'm done. You see how fast that was? So it's kind of really, really cool for you guys to see this. The reason why I love this setup for you guys is if you have never traded prop and you don't understand how prices move, why you get done, why you don't get done, what's happening in the actual market, kind of looking underneath the hood of the market. Having the very, very, basic DOM, right, with the bids and asks, really, really makes you understand, oh, this is why I made money. Oh, this is why I lost money. They swept my offer. They hit my bid. Prices moved up and down. Prices basically move up and down, what we call the price ladder. And we're buying on the entry. When we're buying, we're on the low of the price ladder, getting swept on the offer. When we're selling, we're hitting the bid, and then we're going to be going back to the bid to buy it. So like as the prices crash, we're like a bid that comes in and purchases it. So nice job, everybody. We took S&P trade, even though that was not a legitimate trade. Now, even though it was not a legitimate trade, what's interesting now is we may actually be in the process of creating a legitimate trade, because we have a white dot, and if we get a green dot in this next sequence, we can then go to our legitimate S&P trade, which is the 103 account, and see if we can make that that trade viable. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I know why I'm not listening. I don't have this thing on. Okay. I was like, how come I'm missing all of my alerts? Because my other computer, which I put them on my other computer, is on mute. That's why. All right. I just took it off mute. Anyways, you see this? We are 18, 19 seconds on the trade here. We always wait. The final point is that we're always waiting for the close of the candle. But now I'm going into my, what I call legitimate account, right? On my S&P account. I got about 4 or 5 seconds left here. Let's see if this holds. 2, 1, boom. I'm long. And again, where am I? Let me just change this account. This is the 103, so you guys can see it. So here I am. I'm at 50.25, and the next offer is 51.25, right? Do I get swept up over here? We'll see. But that is a legit, clean trade. Legit clean trade. But, it works. It works. It doesn't work. We'll repair it. You see the entry is in blue with a little star. That's my entry, and I'm offering at 25. And if they start sweeping the offers, start bringing it up, then the trade gets done. If they start hitting the bids, it doesn't. Is that a legitimate trade? Yeah, generally it is. In other words, Santiago is right that this may be a little bit overbought, but I like buying them. See, the main thing that I always look at in terms of like where I really like to enter is the trend has just turned to the upside, right? It's early part of the trend. When I'm in the early part of the trend, I'm very, very comfortable taking this trade, right? The only time like you saw me hesitate of taking the clean setup is if the trend is like 3, 4, 5 hours long, because then you kind of you sort of exhausted in yourself. Now, is there a possibility that this trend could just reverse right back down to that? Of course, there's always a possibility that what you're assuming is not going to happen. The point is that you're trading the highest possible probability. That's all. All I do is I have a lot of confidence. I have like an 80% confidence that this is going to work. That means that 20%, even at 80% confidence, 20% time, it's not going to work. That's why I always have plan B and then plan C. But are things working? I'm at 75, and there you go. I told you. I mean, I have 80% confidence, and it goes again. So good. So that was a legit trade in the S&P. Where's my Nasdaq? When we don't have any legitimate trades, we can do garbage trades in my garbage account. Okay. So a good example of a garbage trade in my garbage account is, my garbage account is the 114, and I'm just going to go over here to 114. The good example of this is everything is positive, right? The only thing that's not happening here is I don't have a white dot, green dot. I have like a whole bunch of green dots. But when you're looking at what's happening in the price action here, everything is rising. Momentum is rising, slope is rising, and we're almost on the cusp of creating a fresh new trend, right? Positive trend. So garbage trade, but I'll take it happily. For fun. 37 seconds left. Because the cool thing about me trading with in a garbage account and marathon time with you guys is for you to see the principal underlying thesis of the trade strategy. Once you understand that, then picking out the actual clean trade signals becomes immeasurably easier for you. Now the dot goes away. Here's the thing: even in garbage, I'm not taking this trade because here's what happened here. The dot went away. Right now, I'm waiting to see if the dot stays on the close of the candle. It looks like it does. Yes, and I'm going long. So now I'm long, and now we can look at this. Now you hit the word position, and it will automatically take you to your entry. So I'm in at 81, and oh shit, did I screw this up? Oh no, that's correct, right? And I should be out at 86. That's correct. You see that? It's just taking a long time to get up there. So I'm in at 81, and it's got to sweep out all the way to 86 to get my thing. But again, this is just an example of the kind of trade I want to do. This is not the trade that I want to do. Generally, that's why I put it into my garbage account. But we crossed the moving average. We had a lot of momentum. Could it die out, and could all the prices curl back over? Absolutely. That's why it's not an 80% trade. It's kind of like 50. It's kind of like 55-60% trade, which I don't do. I want to be doing 80 to 85% trades. So anything that's 60 or higher. Oh, I got it. No, finally I got a alert. So we have an alert in gold.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with
Oh,
that.
shut up, Alexa. Shut up. Please don't bother me. So we have an alert in gold telling us that's a possible setup, but nothing here is even remotely close to a setup for us. Because even if we get a white dot, green dot, positive momentum, positive trend, the slope is negative. So it's not even a consideration. But what's nice about having the alert is that it gives you a look. You have a chance for a look, and then you just go with that. So that's definitely not a trade. What's the S&P doing? The S&P is really crawling nicely. You see us taking nice trades on the S&P here that all of them worked. What about Nasdaq? Nasdaq. Oh, gold is still giving me a signal, fresh news signal. Okay, so now gold on the next candle starting to look a little bit better, but the slope is still red. Slope is still red, still not a trade, right? Still not a viable trade. I may take this in my garbage account, unless this slope really turns nice and clean green. But generally, if I'm in the middle of a candle and the slope is changing between green and red, that's not strong enough for me to want to believe it. I need it to be always green on that second candle, because I want to be feeling that there's a lot of power behind that move. All right, so here we are in my position. I'm in at 81. Offer is at 86. You can see Nasdaq just sort of very, very lazy. Usually it can travel 5 points in a minute, but it's just it's just popping around doing nothing. So given the fact that this is not a legitimate buy signal, we can also go back to my, it's good enough for my garbage account. So I'm happy to go to my garbage account and put it in there. If this red dot, the green dot holds. If the green dot doesn't hold, we don't even have the setup. So we have to wait. But you see how it's a weak setup, right? The slope is red. It's really not a great setup. That's why I'm putting it into my garbage account. All right, candle closes. All right, we'll buy to my garbage account. So here we are, 62, 70, 67 on the offer. In this, we go to Nasdaq. We are a little bit below our entry. We're at 81, and the market is like 79. So market is just really, everybody's putzing around. 9:10, about 20 minutes to go. How do I add the column on the left where I track? You mean the DOM column, this column over here? Is that what you're asking me? You would go in here. You would go to trading right over here. You would go trading DOM. Click on that and just place it in there, and then you can just modify it. I'll show you how to do it again in just a little bit. All right, so we're in my garbage account, doing nothing much here. Both of these trades are just floating. Neither good nor bad, but they're not clean trades, right? So they're not clean trades, so therefore we obviously don't have them in our good accounts, but they're fun trades for us to do because they're within the principle of what we want. Momentum, trend, not direction. Slope is against us. So if the slope turns green, we're green. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's why we have like that whole big filtered approach. Here we don't have any of that stuff. Here we're just simply trading. Positive momentum, positive slope. Let's get long, but we don't have the original starting thesis, which wanted to come from low to high. So the danger of doing this kind of a trade. Now the thing about this trade is it's a lot of fun. You can do a lot of these trades. Sometimes you can get 5-6 continuity trades like this in a big slice trend, and if you catch that, let's say if Nasdaq for right now, what is it, 9:15? It stays in this positive trend for the next 2 hours, and this is actually going to be fun because I'll be hanging with you for 2 hours. If it does stay for the next 2 hours, every trade I take in this particular structure is almost certain to be a winner. If it doesn't stay trend, if it just does, zips, does up, down, kind of a choppy structure where the short-term moving average just does a little zig around the long-term moving average, we're going to be chopped to death. But it's an interesting way for you guys to look at, to try and do like a much more aggressive multi-frequency trade structure if you believe that there's going to be a trend in front of you for the next couple of hours, because this will pick out almost every single winning entry in that structure. But that's a big if. I have no idea if the trend is going to remain positive for the next 2-3 hours. But I'm kind of trading it as though I am, just to show you the possibilities of what this thing can do. I'm still a little bit underwater in gold, a little bit underwater with Nasdaq, doing absolutely nothing. 15 minutes to the open. Yeah, markets are waiting for U of M, which is not till 10 o'clock. They're also waiting for the open, right? The open is always going to be a little bit tumultuous. And again, that's why I have my trades in my garbage account, because if I get volatility, I don't want to be in my proper accounts. I'm trying to figure out like what would be the good titles for what's the opposite of garbage? Yeah, it's also OPEC. So you're right. It's option expiration day today, although not a just a Friday, not like a big option expiration day. It's not a quarterly. It's monthly. Yeah. What's GEMS? What does GEMS mean? All right. Whether you are part of my coaching or not part of my coaching, the deal on Apex is amazing. So go out there, get the Apex deal, get yourself a whole bunch of $16, $50,000 accounts, just like I did right now. I literally bought a bowl of tuna yesterday, poke tuna, for more money than I just bought a $50,000 account. It's a really great deal. I'm just watching gold putts around here. It was Nasdaq. Oh, Nasdaq is really getting killed. Okay, so here's cool. We're in the garbage account, right? I'm probably going to, even if I don't get stopped out, I'm going to stop myself out here on this trade. I'm going to show you something very cool. Watch this. So it's going to, flatten out. Let's make sure this is correct. I'm going to go the other way. So, because this is a legit clean trade. You see how I went? Where's my position? Here I am at 62.25 on the short side, targeting, was that 57.25? And you see how prices are starting to come down a little bit, right? Why did I do this? I did it because I went from a bogus, like a trade where I'm 65% confident to a trade where I'm 80% confident, which is everything in this trade lines up. You have the purple dot, the red dot, the slope, all of it going down. And I went short here. The target is going to be 57.25. Let's see if it does its thing. Meantime, what's gold doing? Gold is just still sitting in no man's land. What's S&P doing? Oh, S&P also had a trade. Shit, S&P had a trade. I'm a little bit late. I can't. Even in garbage, I don't want to do the trade here because I'm late on the on the S&P. It looks like the Nasdaq is kind of sliding against me too. Here's my Nasdaq. Oh, look at this. Nasdaq went so close to my target. I didn't even see this. What was my low? 58, and my target was 50. It's just 3/4 of a point on the target. All right, it is what it is. I was a little bit late on the entry, so just missed my target. Close 47.50, and what was the low here? 45.50. Yeah, this would have been a really, really good trade. Yeah, I just missed the S&P trade as it was flipping around. Okay, we'll stay patient with this. Staying patient with my Nasdaq trade. And gold. Gold is doing nothing. Gold is kind of dying out here. You hit ES. Interesting that NQ had one bar ahead of on the bar, so it gave me a good feeling on ES. So that's interesting. Good job for you. I just wasn't watching the S&P. Wilbert, I'm putting the coaching link right here. It tells you everything. It tells you everything. Just click that link, and it'll tell you everything you're going to get. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, like this was not a bad trade. Like honestly, this Nasdaq trade. The only reason there's two things that happened in Nasdaq trade. I was late in my entry, just a little bit late in my entry, and we just literally, missed the target by a quarter of a point. It may still work for us. You just have to be patient with it. Just got to give it a little bit of stop. But we're obviously this is the other thing that happened is that we traded this 9:15, which is always that Bermuda Triangle time of the market, where the market is going to make jerky move one way, jerky move the other way. This is why it goes in the garbage account. That's why I'm trading the garbage account, because none of this stuff is. Oh, it looks like I got stopped on my gold. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Okay, so gold gets stopped out. And again, I told you why this was not a good trade. It's actually really, really good for me to show you, garbage trades produce garbage results. That this was, I told you, wasn't a great setup, right? It wasn't a great setup because of this. Now, Nasdaq, on the other hand, Nasdaq is sending me the exact opposite signal here, but it's a red slope, so it's not really a positive signal here at all. So no movement. I'm going to sell gold. I'm going to sell more gold in my garbage account just for shits and giggles. to try to repair some of my gold position. And again, not a legitimate trade, but there's a couple of things that are going on here. There's a red, two red dots, red slope. Gold is just notoriously shitty product for me to trade. You guys know I hate gold with a passion. But if I'm going to do it, at least I'm going to do it in a structure that I want. I'm at 63.3, already a point against me. I need to see 62.5 to get this resolved. So let's see if this goes my way. I'm just fucking around because I really don't have any trades here. Ooh, was that some kind of a big pop on the open, which is exactly what I told you. We don't trade 915. Nasdaq completely flips around the other way. Did not stop me out yet. Did not stop me out, but just did a whole hellacious little move to the downside. Gold didn't do anything. And what about the S&P? S&P did nothing either. That was a weird Nasdaq spike. Something must have hit on the news. Anyways, Nasdaq not working, which is fine. So even if you're looking at this from the long side, right? It's not a trade because the slope is negative. I'm gonna get stopped out on this trade on Nasdaq. I'm gonna eat this loss here. All right, fine. Gold is doing nothing. Oh, that's an interesting question. Yes, I do. It's a really, really interesting question. I do think that legitimate trades. Sorry about that. Yes, South Africa not on wealth charts. Apex just doesn't do business there. Sorry about that. Markets always get wonky on the open. That's why we never trade. On the open. See how just total pop, total pop up, total pop down, right? And look at gold too. Gold just doing nothing. I don't have any signals, so that's why the garbage trades are just literally creating garbage P&Ls because I'm just playing around with weak signals. So what do I have? ES. Does ES have a legitimate signal? Yes, ES has a legitimate signal. So this is like a legitimate signal. The only problem is not quite. The slope has to get green, right? So on the S&P here, in this trade, I really can't take this in my what I call legitimate account because first of all, it's 9:30 in the morning. It's just huge volatility going up and down, and I don't even have a signal here, anyways. But even if I did, I wouldn't have taken it because you want to give ourselves 5-minute pause on all of this. But no signal in the S&P, anyways. Yeah, gold is sharp, but this is none of this. There's no excuse here for me doing this. Gold is chopping around the 8-period SMA, does not giving me legitimate signals, and I'm just fucking around with it. Like even right now, if it went up and got a green dot without a slope, it really wouldn't be a legitimate signal. S&P doing nothing. It's just all chop. It's just, you know, Friday chop, and that's exactly what happens in Friday chop. See how thin gold is? It's like 1 or 2 contracts on the ladder. It's just doing nothing. So market opens up, and Nasdaq is just, you know, doing its, look at this, you know, massive volatility in Nasdaq, right? Just up and down, from 303 to 25 points in 1 second. So we had this big pop on the open that totally got reversed. This is why we don't trade the open. You know, it's why we don't trade the open. Meantime, gold is starting to crawl back towards my target here. My target on gold, by the way, is 62.5. And it's starting to come down a little bit. All right, so gold got done. That was nice, even though, you know, really wasn't like kind of a legit trade. But what's interesting is it's kind of morphing into a legit trade. We have a purple dot. We get a red dot. We have red slope. That's a legit sell signal. So we can watch this for the next 2 minutes and see if we might have a gold setup account. You know, gold structure. In the meantime, what I did manage to do in a very ugly fashion is this upside trade, which got stopped out, got completely repaired. You see, my P&L went way down. It was like minus 500. Now I'm only at minus 135. Went way down. So it's super quick that I was able to recover my P&L. Let's see if we can, first of all, find good trades, and secondly, maybe recover my P&L in Nasdaq. Let's see what Nasdaq wants to do. We've got to give ourselves 5-10 minutes for prices to stabilize. Remember what I said to you: if the trend, if we give a genuinely strong upside trend here for the next 2 or 3 hours, all these signals are really going to work well. We also have S&P setting up white dot. Possibly, you know, if this thing goes up, green dot, that's going to be a legit S&P trade. So the legit S&P trade goes into the 103 account. So I'm setting this up into 103. We can watch this over here. That's probably the most legitimate trade that we have going on over here if this sets up. And we continue to chop. Not a lot of continuity either way. Let's take a look at gold. All right, gold actually has a legit sell trade. That the legit account for gold is the oh shoot 2, and the legit account for gold is the 102 account. So I'm watching this. This is a legit sell trade in gold. Going to wait until the candle closes, and then we're going to go short this thing. Okay, short. Let me show you. This should be over here, the 102. You can see the position. So we short 60.2, targeting 59.4 in gold. This is a counter trend trade, but a legitimate one. Slope was negative. Purple to red, which is a phase transition to a sell side. But it's gold. Gold always is going to challenge you. So we'll see if gold gives us a shot here. Meantime, we can take a look at what the equities are doing. S&P not able to really hold any positive trades. And Nasdaq also very choppy. Netflix is down 55. That's interesting. I wonder, why is Netflix down so much? What happened? Let's go to Twitter. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see what's happening actually just in headlines and other stuff here. All right, nothing much. Oh, Netflix down 5, not 55. Yeah, 5 is okay. I mean, not good, but I wonder why NFLX is falling. Did I? Oh, maybe I'm going to delete this. I just do Netflix. Let's see if there's any news on Netflix. Guidance offsets. Okay, analyst remark highlights advantage of in the streaming wars amidst competition. Okay, so just a matter of guidance. Gold is done. Oh, good. So gold is done for us. Oh, gold is. See, you hear that? Gold is done. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Let me go to gold. Here's gold. Gold got done. Sorry, I got distracted by Netflix. But yeah, we held tight. This was a legit trade. Goes back to the legit account. Legit account gets green. We're in good shape. All right, let's see what we can do for the garbage account. Or no, actually, let's see what else is happening. Nasdaq not really giving us anything. S&P nothing. Like we're in such a tight little, look at this formation, guys. This is range. This is just toxic. Like this is something, it's very, very hard to make. We made a little bit of money here, but it's very, very hard for us to make money in this kind of a market. We could make a little bit. We could have made a little bit of money here too if I traded this, but it's literally zero margin for error. What we want is big, wide ranges. We can't. That's where we make our money. Right now, this kind of tight movement up and down, really, really ugly. Also, again, notice over here. Oops. Oh, I don't have my mark here. Notice over. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do the highlighter. Notice what's over here. This is. You know what? Let me do a color. What do you think about doing this? Is this better, guys? If I use the yellow. Oh shit! What did I just do? Get over here. Okay. You see that? Is that better if I use yellow? You see how the moving average goes from green to red? That is not the kind of trade we want. We want it always to be red if we want to be shorting it. (9:40), 20 minutes to the news. So just basically waiting for the news. The answer to that is depends. Like the first 4 months, no, and then after the first 4 months, yes. So it all depends. Doesn't matter though. Franco, the most important part about prop trading is not what they trade, it's what they pay you. Like I would rather stay on a simulated account for the rest of my life if somebody paid me real money out of it. You know, what would you rather do? Trade real account and lose money, or trade simulated account and make money? I'd much rather take the second one. All right, slope now turning a little bit red, but we got to go all the way down here to generate a dot. So it's going to be a while. So maybe another minute or two for Nasdaq for us as a stretch. Gold we're done with. There's nothing to do with gold for a while. S&P we got nothing. Nothing is happening. Very, very quiet. S&P is kind of oscillating between bump up, bump down, bump up, bump down, no directionality. So Nasdaq is sort of our next possible trade, but Nasdaq is also flipping itself around. Very, very little activity here going on. Wonder if I'm just not, now I'm like obsessed with my coloring. Maybe this. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty good color, right? You guys can see that. Arthur, when you join coaching, there's a whole course. We have a day trading course in our private session, and that day trading course has there's a lot more than just what I'm showing you. I'm just showing you sort of the most simplest, easiest scalp version. There's 3 other strategies that you can trade with inside of this structure. So there's a course there on it. Rob, we usually meet every single day, and I email everybody the link the morning of. But again, schedule and everything else is going to change a little bit later as the summer goes by. But generally, I'm trading almost every single day, Monday through Friday on YouTube. Okay, the best way to do, if you want to just kind of if you want to always see where we're at, join the YouTube channel. It's what is the what's the YouTube link? Let me hang on a second here. Honestly, the best thing to do if you want to just always know what's going on is subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. And everybody should do this. Go out there and just hit the subscribe button, please. Do me the favor. Do me the flavor. We're so close to 100,000. I want to put me up above 100,000. I'll really appreciate it. But just hit the subscribe button, okay? Here, I'll send the link. Karen, we will go back to that. There's going to be a lot more private. There's going to be a lot more private training coming up. I promise you. It's just that I'm experimenting with the marathon trades, for the time being, and I just couldn't, I couldn't do it any time but today in the thing. But we're going to do a lot more private, not just Fridays, but there'll be a lot more private coming up. It's going to be a big revamp in DK coming up soon, I promise you. Okay, hey, here we go. NAS negative. Get a red dot over here, negative slope. If I get the third component, which is the red dot over here, let me just get rid of all this crap so you guys don't see it. If I have a red dot, I'm going to go short this. And that's actually going to be a legit trade into my legit account, which is it's my legit account here. It's not the 114. It's going to be the 103. No, 110. Sorry, 110. 110. But alas, I'm not getting the signal. So you can see that the market really doesn't want to go anywhere. And it's pretty much pre-positioning against U of M. So that's what's going on. Miguel tells me to go see gold. What's gold doing? Gold is not, it's not a trade, Miguel. It's negative bid. I'm tired of doing fuck around trades. I did a lot of fuck around trades today just for fun, and they essentially ended up fucked, right? That's the whole point. It's fun to do bullshit trades, but you get bullshit results. So, I mean, I do have, I'm happy to play around, but not in this particular structure. If I'm looking at gold right now, the only way I would go long gold is if the slope turns definitively green. But there really are no trades right now. Because remember, it's always these three rules that make or break your trade. Oh, Casey and the Sunshine Band was awesome. Holy shit, was that a great show. Oh my God. He is 2,000 pounds big. It's unrecognizable, but he was so good, so funny. And everything was great. Like the music was awesome. Lighting was some of the best lighting I've ever seen in my life. And he gave full 2 hours. I thought the guy was going to have a heart attack. He's like your crazy uncle at a wedding. Your crazy fat uncle at a wedding who starts dancing. That's what he was. But man, the music was awesome. Yeah, just Lee. No fuck around trades is just the number one rule, right? Just really, it's very, very simple. There's no reason for us to do this, we just don't have setups. And the reason we don't have setups is because the market doesn't know what the fuck it wants to do until U of M comes out. It's waiting for that one piece of data to maybe find a little directionality. I'm Your Boogeyman was so good. So good. He really deserves to be. I did not realize this. He wrote all those songs. And before he became famous, he actually wrote a lot of songs for people. Like he actually is basically a songwriter who became a performer. But I'm Your Boogeyman was so good. Oh my God. It was so much fun. And like, there is nothing like wind instruments and the richness of that sound. Just, when the very fact he had zero, computer sounds, zero synthesizers, everything was really, really clean. Everything, keyboards were great. And it was just amazing to hear actually clean, rich sound. Like 70s music is so much better than any shit that you hear now. It's amazing. NQ, buy sequence, not a buy. I mean, buy sequence suggestion, but not a buy sequence signal. Why is it not a buy sequence signal? Because the slope is negative. So not a trade. Not even remotely a trade. GC, not a trade. S&P looking better. This is not a trade because remember, I really want the slope to stay green the whole time. But it's good enough. Like this is a good enough trade that I would actually put this into my garbage account. So let's go to my garbage account. Hang on. If this stays this way, I'll put it to my garbage account. It's not even staying. See how it's turning totally red. It's not even a legitimately good trade. All right, I put it into my garbage account just for shits and giggles. But again, not a great trade. And what is this? This is the 114. Let's go to 114. Let's see how it looks. So we're at 50. Target is 51 on the S&P. 10 minutes before the open. Not a good looking trade. There's a lot of things I did wrong in this trade. So it'll be a miracle if this thing works. But you know, it's in the garbage account. So let's have fun with it. I'm a bookie man. I know, right? You know how great they were? Brass. Yeah, brass. And you know what's going on in the market right now? The market is totally chopped. This is absolutely the worst environment for us to trade. That's why we don't have really that many trades. But it's really important to see. Like I think it's sometimes it's really good to see when not to trade because it's easy. You know when the market just runs directionally. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You know, every trade we take is just going to be super easy and super done. When the market is kind of choppy like this, it's an absolute struggle, right? Maybe we get lucky a little bit here. We get lifted a little bit to the upside. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but I got about 2 seconds now. I can't even. Some big news. Look at that. Stop order filled. Something must have hit. And that's why I had it in my garbage account. What happened here? Did we do anything? Did something hit? Or is it just simply I don't see anything hitting. Oh, Waller. Or maybe Waller talking, and maybe Waller just put a rate cut demanding Trump risks a vicious backlash from bond vigilantes. No, nothing. I guess maybe Waller just said something. It feels like Waller must have said something. I flipped over. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You know, it's all bullshit. Nothing much really going on over here. Until we get a signal, we don't trade. Actually, looking at gold right now, but again, I have U of M coming up, so I don't want to trade around U of M. But if gold, white dot, green slope, that's the only legitimate trade that we have here. Nasdaq also flipped around. This must have been Waller saying something that tricked the markets into thinking that there is no rate cut coming. Yeah, not much going on here. Yes. That's really like basically not only was the 200 period SMA flat, but the 8 SMA is like compressed around it. Like when you're looking at this, it really doesn't take a genius, right? When you're looking at this and the volatility for the last hour and a half has been a whopping, 20 points in remember, Nasdaq does 100 points an hour. So for the last 2 hours, if you're doing 20 points, you got no trades. You literally got no trades, right? You want the Nasdaq to be moving at least 50 points in an hour from high to low to really, really have a good trade. And the thing is that there's been no signals. It's not like it's not that the only reason we're taking bad trades is because I'm just doing fuck around trades. I have not taken a legitimate signal in any of these accounts, and then when I did, they did all work out. So it's just a testament to the fact I'm just putzing around because we're bored. But it's a very good example of the very fact that the indicator is not putting you into dumbass trades. You don't have to worry about the fact that the market is flat and you should just not trade it. It's not by its very definition not giving you any of the signals. Now, okay, here's a moment of truth. You got gold. You got 5 minutes to U of M, which means that you're an idiot to take the trade in front of news. But you do have a setup, right? You got a green slope. You got a white dot. You're probably gonna get a green dot if this thing goes higher. What's the answer? Garbage account. That's the only answer you can take. Your only answer is garbage account. So I'm waiting to see. I'm going to put this into my garbage account. Definitely not in my real account. And play it just because everything here does work. I'm long. It's a legit setup. Let's go into my position. What's my position? 63.6 on the bid. 64.4 on the offer, right? So that's where I exit over here if this is a legit trade. But it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes to the news. So there's zero chance why you should be trading this in anything but the garbage account. Or should we say experimental? That'll be my experimental account because we're going to be PC about it. Kathy trades spot forex. You really want to trade spot forex. The only real forex futures is euro dollar. That's the only one that really trades actively. Okay. But when you're trading futures prop, you really want to be trading gold, indices. That's it. Oil, if you really like it. You have to understand which product trades best. What's NQ like? Is that's your trade that you want to do, or the trade that you don't want to do? We are 2 minutes away from the news. What's NQ doing? NQ has a negative setup too. So again, stupid. We're gonna go to not real account. I can't do this. Shit. 114. Again, I'm selling my bogus account. Again, all of this is bogus accounts, meaning my experimental account. The reason why I'm doing that is because we're 2 minutes away from news, and it's gambling. It's just pure gambling. So I put everything into my effectively. That's actually the right nomenclature for the account. It's my gambling account. That's my trading account. That's my gambling account. That's actually the right way I think of thinking about this. So this account is just a gambling account. Let's give it a shot. We're in at 61. Where's my target? My position is 61, right? Where's my shit? Yeah, I'm in at 61. 56 is my target on Nasdaq. So a signal before news is just a gamble, right? That you gotta be aware of them of the news flow. I got 30 seconds left. This thing could blow me out 100%, 100%, before the news. In fact, if I was trading this myself, I would just flatten out, because I flatten out right now on a small profit, better than kind of gambling. On the gold one, where's my gold? I'm still, still losing money. Gold is probably, if the news goes against me, the gold is going to blow me out. Again, these are all just, gambling trades because it's in front of news. Here's news. Let's see what news wants to do for us. 3 seconds left. Where is U of M? Pending, pending, pending. It looks like it's positive. Looks like we just kind of popped a little bit up. Where's my gold? Gold didn't do anything. 61.8, just a little bit better. And inflation expectation a little bit lower. So it's all positive. That maybe finally now we start seeing positive trend, right? So maybe finally now the news is over. It's positive news. Can we create a positive trend? Let's see. Market is just dicking around, going up and down, doing nothing. But here's S&P, right? S&P had a big range, 42 to 48. Where is this? 42 to 55. It's a 12-point range, really big range. Okay, so here we go. Maybe the first legitimate structure for us to kind of look around. Let me see what gold is doing. Oh, gold still hasn't done me. 64.4. What was the high on the gold? 64.0. Gold is just really not doing anything. All right, let's focus on Nasdaq not giving me anything. S&P looks a little healthier than Nasdaq, but still not really a great trade. Although here's what I like about this: I have a white dot. I have a positive green slope. If I have the next candle really has to rise above 55 to make this. So there's very little chance that the next candle is going to be a buy signal on the S&P. But if we can stabilize and start building support at these levels, in other words, so here is here's S&P holding 200, trying to rally a little bit higher. All of that in 2 or 3 candles could give us a very legitimate long trade. Gold just doing nothing. Gold like absolutely quiet. Very little direction today, guys. It's just, that's it. We're just in Chop City. Oh, you like NQ? I really like NQ too. I like it too. Although I will say that my second favorite, my very close second favorite is S&P. If you really just choose the quality trades in the S&P. It's interesting. One interesting thing that is happening, and you never know if that's it's going to hold or not. But like what I find interesting is that we can't seem to rally on good news. Generally, there's a market wizard, Jason Shapiro, who I've interviewed many times. A really good guy, and he has his whole methodology is based upon sentiment, and I listen to him a lot because I think he's generally like in broad, big structures. He's generally very good. And one of his big setups is if you can't get positive action out of positive news, the very likely move is to the downside. So like right now I'm watching this, right? And what's interesting to me is that the market just can't rally off the U of M. That means we might finally just open up a waterfall to the downside. So I'm going to be happy to be looking to the downside. Oh, that's a really good point. Lee is actually making a super good point. Really, really good point. That honestly, there really is no good or bad instruments. There's just good or bad times to trade them, right? The difficult part about it is that sometimes those times change. It's not like times are static, right? But generally, the good times to trade indices is between, let me see if I can do text here, is between 10:30 New York. What is this? Oh, I've never done text here, so I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. The good times to trade indices is 10:30 to like 12:30, because that's actually why is this not working? Here we go. That's actually prime time where Europe and North America make a lot of their trades. That's really the best time, which is coming up right now, like the time that we're going to trade together. Let's see if this is when you get directionality. Once you get directionality, it's a lot easier for us to start picking up trades, right? The best time to trade gold, in my opinion. Did I get stopped on gold? No, this is that. Oh, no, I finally limited order on gold. So gold actually really worked after a very long time. Wonderful. The best time to trade gold, in my opinion, is actually like the trend time in gold is Asia session, which should be like 1900 New York to 2300 New York. You know, maybe some other times. I'm happy. You know, I'm happy if you guys have other ideas. But those are sort of like the best, the better times to trade gold. You know, those are the best times. All right, let's see if we can finally develop any kind of a movement. All right, here we go. What's going on over here? Oh, let me just get rid of this. Okay. This actually, I had a sell order in Nasdaq. I just kind of missed it. I'm going to go on my garbage account and sell it because it's pretty much at the entry price. Let's see if I'm right on this. Again, I'm on the garbage account because I was kind of late on the entry. But I said, remember I said to you that it's finally set. Maybe we finally starting to set up some movements. So Nasdaq, here's Nasdaq position, and Nasdaq got filled very quickly, right? This was a really good legitimate trade. I could have really done this in my Nasdaq legitimate account, but I just simply you know, I was just distracted with all sorts of garbage trades. So one of the things you guys are kind of seeing is that as we finally get into true signals, this thing, which was like minus 500, now is only minus 137. I'm, you know, easily getting a lot of this back, and I'll definitely turn this green later on when I focus on trades. But you know, are we entering now into a period where we're finally going to get, this is the 10:30 time, news is gone, are we finally going to get some directionality in S&P and Nasdaq? And by the way, after 10:30, I don't even care if gold has a signal. I don't really want to trade this. Gold becomes really garbage trade regardless. Like Lee's absolutely right. The time of day, like this is to me the worst time of day to trade gold. You know, I'm done with gold. Gold is okay at 7 in the morning till about 10 in the morning, but then after that, we're done with it. So we're only going to focus on Nasdaq and S&P if we get signals. So far, still kind of really flat. Sorry, Lee, you agree on gold with me that those are the best times, or you agree with me on S&P and Nasdaq? Oh, check this out. Apex is going to do a trading competition. That's kind of cool. That's cool to know. All right, watching S&P. Not a real setup because I don't have a purple to red dot. But if I get a red dot with a red slope, it's good enough for my gambling account. I'm going to go very PC. I'm not going to call it garbage. I'm going to call it my gambling account, because a couple of things are definitely setting up my way, right? So I'm perfectly okay with shooting this. So this is my 114, my gambling account. This market closes at this level. That's going to be a short for me. NQ and ES, I'm telling you, the best times, even though sometimes it's not always true, but the best times to trade. And who wants to dispute this, or give me better times? But I really think 10:30 to 12:30 New York is the best times to trade this. 38 seconds left on the clock. Not a truly dot trade, but good enough for my gambling account. 25 seconds left. Let's see if we get a little bit of momentum. Because one of the principles I'm trying to trade here is momentum. I'm trying to trade the points when the market is giving us the highest signals of direction. In this case, it's giving us signals to the short side. Let's see if we're going to close. You get a dot on the close. Dot, short. Okay, so here I am. Position here is at 40.75, and I'm buying 39.75 on my S&P trade. Okay. What's Nasdaq doing? Nasdaq turning down. See, this is the entry, 40.75. The bid is at 39.75. Um, tell me, isn't it much easier with this kind of layout? You guys can really, really see underneath the hood exactly what's happening, what a structure is, what's going on, right? Isn't this like the much better layout? Um, yeah, the MNQ got TP'd like 5 minutes ago. It was right here. So tell me, I mean, isn't that a really, really cool way? Just so much easier to see this, right? I'm so much happier with this layout because it's very, very transparent. You know exactly what the entry is. You can see the prices on the ladder right next to it. I hope you guys really like it because I'm very, very happy with how the layout looks now, and it makes the whole structure just that much more intuitive to trade, right? All right, so remember what I said to you, my friend Jason Shapiro. I always listen to his advice. When the news is positive and the price action is negative, try to orient yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to start selling to the lows, but it could. Like right now, we're clearly starting to develop a negative bid. So, and again, you want to play. Let's play. Again, we're going to go to the gambling account. We got 17 seconds left. Everything is setting up for further downside movement. So I'm going to sell more here on the close if this candle holds the bid, which I'm sure it will because it's not going to rally back up. But once we get a new candle, I'm going to short this. Okay, so here we go. My position here is, again, so you guys can actually see it. It's 2250. What is this? Sorry, 2050, and my TP, and I'm TP like this. You can see it really, really fast, right? So I'm just basically just picking up all these clips, which is kind of fun, right? And again, all of it is momentum, right? You guys seeing all that momentum? Just a sec, guys. I just need to talk to my marketing guy. Okay, cool. Now, how much more do you want to press this trade, right? Still got selling pressure over here, but this is already the third dot. You want to go? Let's go. Why not? We don't have any legitimate trades. You want to trade aggressively? We can sell a little bit more. Is there a danger we're going to sell the bottom? There could be, but I still think there's a little bit more trade to the downside. So here we go. We're at 23.25, and we're looking for, and we get limit order filled. So one of the cool things is when things start falling, and for those of you guys who love to press trades, this is not my type of trading, but when you start pressing trades, you could really use this indicator, just press the hell out of trades, and you could do it in size. Like I could have, if I wanted to, I could have easily turned this into a couple of $100 trades on larger size. I'm just trading small size to just show you good behavior, good, best practices basically. But you saw, you only have like 5 points, and then that's going to retrace back up against you, right? Everything's going to retrace back up against you. Here's the S&P. Also, you could have pressed the S&P as well for a couple of points. The other thing is, if you're going to press these trades, you're going to bang, 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 using momentum trading, you got to just do it on one instrument, right? That's what I like to do. And honestly, like, if you're going to be in that mode, that's when you want to do size. If you're right, you're going to just make $500-600 in a matter of 10 minutes and then just be done with it, because you can do 2 or 3 minis, a couple $100 trade, couple $100 trade. This would have been $600 a trade at 2 minis. But you got, it's all in. You got to just be zoned in, and you got to hit those targets. That's the key. But it's fun to see it, and you guys, can literally see it in real time how it hits those targets. Yes, they're not on the website. It's my recommended stops and targets. I wonder if I have this in just a second. Let me see if I can find the video assets. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to make, sorry. So who's asking me this? Balanced Health Solutions. I'm going to make like this kind of a reference checklist next week for all the stops and targets, and you guys can literally see them. Okay. I'll do that. I'll do that then. Most everybody knows what they are, of course, obviously, but new people are always wondering. It's very simple. It's 1-4 in terms of points, 1-4 in S&P, 520 in Nasdaq, and 8 ticks, 32 ticks in gold. That's what I trade these days. Yeah, I've always used DOM and my other stuff just to see the price action, and the very fact that DOM is integrated into the same web panel is really, really nice, because I used to have multiple screens, DOM on the bottom, web panel on the top, just kind of watching it. It's much easier to see it this way, because you really, it just gives you a really, really clean view of the price action. So the other thing is you can see the narrative of the market, right? Like as we're trading today for a couple of hours, you can really see the narrative develop. So first we have chop, then we have news, then we have that counter reaction to the news, which in this case is news is really not good enough. I'm kind of want to take profits, whatever's going on. So we have that 10:30 reaction, and now we're just in this pause as the market decides, well, maybe we're done selling off. Maybe we can bring the buyers back in, and it'll start to go the other way. And we can really see these. It's like a change in scenery when you're watching the price action on the here's a change in scenery on Nasdaq, right? Big pop, big negative pop, right? Nasdaq is just really having a very, very schizophrenic trade action. Whatever the buyers come in, they're just really not bringing much to the table here. By the way, what I wanted to sort of show you is we've primarily been trading the gambling. We've had literally no legitimate trade setups for a couple of hours. So I've been trading a lot of gambling setups, and you saw the gambling setups fail, and it went down to minus 500 at one point, and it's now minus 85. And what I kind of wanted to sort of show you is just the power of the most important part of trading is not winning; it's coming back from losing. It's very hard to have a good strategy that can come back from losing. And what I love about the dot strategy, you sort of see it really, really easily on the gambling account, is that it's really robust. It'll just come back. Winning is just almost a given the way we trade when we have the setups. But when we're putzing around, or when the market is really non-cooperative, if you just trust the process, it will eventually straighten itself out. Yes. A white dot is positive momentum, but coming from a lower place on the chart. So you see the last white dot, Last positive momentum dot was here. This is much lower, right? Same idea here. Like this is a green dot, which is positive momentum, but it's much higher on the chart. This is a white dot. So a white dot is positive momentum, but from a lower place on the chart. A green dot is just, positive momentum that is higher than the prior momentum dots. It's like the perfect dot. The same thing with a purple dot. The purple dot is negative momentum, but coming from a higher place on the chart. And what we like to do, like our number one structure, is white dot, green dot, positive momentum from a lower place on the chart, all of it confirmed by a green slope, by a positive slope. We get those three things together. We're really trading, trading in the zone. If we don't get those together, we're not. Like here's a good example of 2 out of 3 that are not, that would in no way, shape, or form give us a signal. We have a white dot, we have a green dot, so like positive momentum, but not positive slope. And we always need all those 3 things to make our trade viable. That's why we haven't had any trades today, because it's just been very, very it's been very flat, and it's been non-directional, so it has not given us these powerful signals that convert to P&L. Does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody clear on what makes dots, what makes the trade a trade? Now, for those of you who are coming in late and you're seeing all of these winning scalps, what the hell is going on over here? Here, we were just trading in my gambling account. This is my gambling account, trading pure momentum. So here's a good example. We can trade that pure momentum again. This is my gambling account sell. Oh shit, I'm a little bit late. Fuck, I'm late. Don't ever do what I just did right now. The trade was over here. I would have made money. I'm just chased the trade. The key thing here is if you miss the execution, don't trade the execution. I fucked this up royally. It'll be complete luck if this trade works. Where's my position? I'm at 90.50. 90.50. My target is 87.50. And it'll be total luck if this trade works. Why isn't it work? What the fuck is going on? Why is it not going through? Oh, no, sorry. I'm not 87.50. I'm at 85.25. Right. Sorry. I'm at 90.50 and I have, this should be 85.50. I'm going to move this over. 85.50. I was like, why isn't it starting? But the trade should have been from there. So where's the market? I can't tell where it's trading. Jesus. Oh, 94. I'm above. Oh, the market is above. That's why I'm like, where's the market? When it's Nasdaq, it moves so fast. Sometimes you kind of lose track of where the ladder is. So I'm probably going to lose money on this trade again, not because it was a bad trade, but because I'm an idiot, because I waited too long. I was too late to the trade, and I decided, oh, let me just take it just to show you. But the actual trade should have been at 200, and it would have easily TP'd me on the trade. So, you snooze, you lose with this setup. And I deservedly get stopped out, not on a bad trade, but on a bad entry. So that's why it's in the gambling account. Yes, it can be, Andy. It's kind of like my next idea to create the SMA. Yes, Andy is asking a pretty smart question, and I will yeah, it's kind of like my next idea to improve the alarm. It's not hard to get that that function going. Still don't have any legitimate. The only legitimate trade setups would now be if we have a big pop and then maybe a resumption of a downtrend or a true reversal, and that could be 3 or 4 candles in the making. So just going to be very patient. Just hang out. Not much to do here. Just waiting to see, you know, what's going on between the two trades here. No, I don't trade on the weekend. No. No. You want to review your trades on the weekend. It's a really great time to do a recommendation and just, you know, review your trades on the weekend. See, S&P, by the way, S&P has really been the best clean trade. It's been the best continuity. Had I taken this trade, I would have, you know, I would have survived the stop and made target. That's fine. Oh, so, you know, we have a little bit of oh, that's cool. Yeah. We'll talk a lot about that. That's really it's really a cool product in wealth charts that we'll show you a little bit later. We have a little bit of time, so I want to kind of break down what I think is like the right way to trade as a trading plan. So you guys can kind of listen to what I think is, you know, could be like what I call is a reasonable, rational funding trading plan. Just want to watch the price action for a little bit just to make sure that, you know, I'm not picking up any trades. If this trade goes red dot, which is lower, I'm gonna short it again because that actually would be like a legitimate gambling trade. There's a legitimate that we're gonna call it a legitimate gambling trade because that's just a big momentum trade that I think would work. But I need, you know, it doesn't look like it looks like we're finding a little bit of a bottom here, so I don't have any opportunity to short this. Let's see if we get lower. No, Nasdaq is finding a little bit of support at this right underneath this 23,200 level. Let's see how it closes. Nope. No trade. You see it's starting to turn, right? So maybe in 2 or 3 candles, we actually could get some turn signals here. But in the meantime, let's just talk a little bit about what I consider to be, let me see if I can actually do this on my text structure. So I'm going to give you a $25,000 trading plan for $25,000 account, and you can modify it in any way you like it. So it's a $1,500 target, right? That's the target, right? I don't know why this is so annoying. I don't know why this does this. Okay, it's a $1,500 target, right? So if you think about that, I'm going to trade $20. Let's just make 2 micro contracts on Nasdaq as our baseline trade. So what that means is I'm going to make $20 a trade, right? Or what is that? $75 winning trades. That's it, right? That's all I need to do. 75 winning trades, and I am funded, right? Everybody sees that. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Okay. What does that mean? Every hour on a normal day, today has really not been a good day, but every hour on a normal day, you get at least 2 to sometimes 3 actual setups. You know, green dot, red dot, white dot, green dot, purple dot, red dot. You usually get, you know, between 2 and 3 setups an hour. So let's say you get 2 setups an hour. You have 3 hours. You get 6 clean setups, right? If you get 6 clean setups, and you're going to do in 16 setups in 3 hours, right? In 3 hours. Then all it really takes is between 10 to 12 days, basically 2 weeks, at incredibly small sizes, at incredibly small size, $20 trades, to get funded. That's, I think, a very realistic approach to how you want to be trading. I'm trying to get rid of this thing. Okay. Let me know if that sort of makes sense to you. I'm rounding out, I'm basically just giving you a general approach, but and that assumes, by the way, that assumes one single instrument. So suppose you trade 2 instruments, like, I don't know, maybe you want to trade gold and Nasdaq, or maybe you trade S&P and Nasdaq on 2 separate charts. Your time to funding can be less than that. But I think like 10 days to 12 days to funding is very realistic. And in reality, it'll probably take 3 weeks to 4 weeks. But if you had confidence that if after a month you funded the account, you'd be great. Now, that's like the reason why I put that trading plan in place is because that's the trading plan that will then work post funding into your funded account. If you do this kind of a structure with your PA accounts, with your payout accounts, you will inevitably get to target that way, right? Now, what I do and what a lot of people do on pre-funded is they just simply go out. I'm not going to trade small. I'm going to trade large, and I'm just going to like I showed you in my video. It take 4 hours. I got funded, right? Because you just want to get funded and you want to have a lot of PAs. That's one good approach. But as I said, you absolutely have to change your tactics from the way you trade in the eval account to the way you trade a funded account. And if you can't go from trading 2 minis to trading 2 micros, if you can't go from trading $200 trades to making $20 trades, it's better just start doing $20 trades until you get yourself really, really comfortable, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, I repair losers up to 3 levels. So it would be, the way I would do this, let's say Nasdaq is an example. 2, then 1 mini, right? And then if I had to do a second repair, that would be 2 minis. It wouldn't fully repair my trade, but it would bring me back to, it would just, bring me back to a reasonable loss level, which I can then recover in a day. Now, remember, to go 3 consecutive repairs should never happen, but maybe happen, once a month at maximum, if you're doing things right. Generally, if you're doing things correctly, you should be able to repair on the second trade almost always. Here's a, I don't even know what that is. It's not a trade. I'm just looking around here for fun things to do, but I can't, I don't have a trade or anything else going on here. What is happening here is actually kind of interesting. As you're watching, let me get rid of this. As you're watching the price action here, is what we're witnessing here is either a bottoming formation or it's just a pause and it's going to start to really go down. So if I'm trading in my gambling account and I'm just kind of getting aggressive, what I'm watching for here is if I see another red dot, I'm just going to go large and just sell it hard, because I think we get continuity to the downside. Like this clearly seems to be the support level for more downfall on the S&P. Same thing on Nasdaq. Nasdaq has kind of found a little bit more support here. So Nasdaq actually is a look the other way for now. Nasdaq to me is like, oh, maybe we get next couple of candles, we're going to start to really recover, go back up to the 2300 level, 2300, 200 level. For NQ, we wait for the next signal structure. It could be purple, red. It could be white, green. Most likely, it's going to be none of them because we are in this kind of a, quasi consolidation period where it's going to take a lot of big movement to change everything around, either super red or super green, right? We need slope, we need momentum, we need everything else. Right now, it just looks like we're floating, right? Okay, Nasdaq. See, here's S&P. Remember I said to you, if I see the red dot on the close, I'll short this. And this isn't my my gambling account, but it's a pretty decent looking continuity trade. But it's also needs to prove to me it's a continuity trade. Right now, it's not. Right now, it's just it dipped below the target, and then they bought it right back up. So now there's really no signal here. We'll come back to it in about a minute to see what's going on. One thing that I don't like, or one thing that makes me cautious about getting short here, is the fact that Nasdaq is showing positive divergence. Nasdaq is showing a little bit of green consolidation, whereas S&P still seeing selling pressure. So I like to see both of them either be super red or super green. So S&P right now really not getting into the red zone, but from now to the end of the candle is a long time. And it's definitely, the other thing is, I definitely don't like the fact that we have divergence on the tape here. Although S&P is definitely starting to go to the back up to the upside. So looks like the sellers have been held back, and now maybe we start building a positive trade setup. Let's watch this. Let's see what happens. Kind of flat, nothing really much. S&P resuming its downside. So maybe it was Nasdaq that was just having a lame little thing. So S&P, if this gives me a red dot, I'm going to short it. I'm going to short it because it's going to tell me that it's if I'm trading sort of momentum continuation, I'm trading in that direction. But I got to have those dots. You can really see, like, once you start developing a trend, either up to the upside or to the downside, you can really see very cleanly that there's a slope move, which is always consistently red. That's already a super bearish sign. And then every dot, as long as even in this one, you could survive, is 42 against 45. You survive the retrace, keeps going down. Dot, right? Once you're in that trend mode, you can start banging the sells or banging the buys when you're in the up mode really well. Right now, we're just doing nothing. See, Nasdaq is turning back up. So now we're really much more starting to turn into the buy mode, right? So let's, if this holds green, we're going to be looking for a reversal move back up towards the 200 SMA. Yeah, this is not a legitimate. This is not. If you're thinking this is a legitimate trade, it's not. But it's not a bad gambling trade. Legitimate trade would never allow you to have that red dot in between, because it's still indeterminate. But it's not a bad gambling trade. So we can go in our gambling account and get long this thing and see how it trades out. So position. Where's my position? I'm at 1750, and my target is going to be 2250, and it's rising a little bit. You see how it's running. As I said, it's not a horrible trade. Maybe, it should hopefully lift me at 22.50 right here. And there we come on, baby. Just played with me, but didn't quite lift me. It needs to go through this. Remember, it needs to go through that level. Somebody has to lift that trade. And it went through that level. See that? And now you can see like a very, very nice, clean structural trade, right? You can really see what's really cool about like this time of the day. You can see the forces between the continuation forces and the reversal forces. And a lot of times this is a reversal time of the day, and we start showing some reversal moves, right? So now now the buyers are like, oh, we're gonna squeeze the shit out of you. Let's go the other way. So we can turn our way towards the S&P and see if we can get if we get a green signal on the next trade, that actually would be a legitimate reversal trade for the S&P. So let's see if we get that move. But from here to there is still quite a few moves to go. In the meantime, like if you're trading just pure momentum, you could certainly trade Nasdaq on momentum as long as this green dot stays in place. And I'm going to trade that in my gamble account here because it definitely stays in place. So where am I now? So now we are, I'm at 27.50 and my target is going to be 32.50. Okay, so we'll see if that plays out. Maybe it'll retrace back and stop me out, but then again, this is my gambling momentum account, and it's actually, again, here it's a reversal move. It's not really a trend move, so it's always possible it can retrace back and then resume reversal and resume the upside. So not the greatest trade to make, but I'm just again showing you the kind of potential that you could see in this move. Whereas on the S&P, not much really going on. S&P just kind of dying out. As a matter of fact, you could make the argument that if this thing kind of dies out and it starts giving me a red dot, the trade is going to be to the downside in the S&P. Like if the S&P gives me a red dot, that's a pretty negative signal that this thing can go down. See? So, we'll get, I can go into the mini account here, just for fun. And if the mini account shows me a red dot, then we can short that nicely. Nope, kind of held back, coming back up against it. So it does not print a red dot. The buyers sort of hold off the sellers. Here's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is still retracing back to the 8-period SMA, but let's see what a battle is at. And see where S&P is doing. Now, still kind of holding on. What time is it? It's almost 11. Quieting out. But you can really see like the battle between, right? So Nasdaq gets crushed to the downside, but Nasdaq actually now, well, it does not show me a classic sell trade because the slope is still green. So Nasdaq just basically retraced me out of it, and that's always the danger of hitting momentum trades, is that you could be right on direction and still wrong on the trade, because you're going to get retraced out, which is why I don't do them in my regular account. But let's see what happens here. In the meantime, let's see what happens in the S&P, because to me the S&P is really interesting. If the S&P goes red here, that would be a nice classic sell. Yeah, we're just chopping around, man. I don't trade gold, Rob. But what you're seeing, I think, is interesting, is that Nasdaq continues to hold bid. This is a pretty positive signal out of the price action. So I get a white dot, I get a green dot. That's really going to be a nice, clean upside trade. That means Nasdaq is ready for a reversal. Because again, as I said, it's all going to happen. S&P is reversing. Again, I don't have the slope here, so it's not really a legitimate trade. But we can try and put this into our gamble account if it holds at these levels, just because it's a reasonable assumption that this is a reversal signal. The slope may start to catch up. It's kind of the last signal. This is pretty bullish reversal move here, and it's totally being confirmed by Nasdaq. So we'll see. "29 seconds left. If this thing holds, we're going to go long." Wait till the candle closes. Long. And ESU. We're in at 34.75. Target is 35.75. Let's watch this. Let's see. Let's have some fun. Let's see if this works. Nasdaq will set us up actually for a real trade if I get a green dot here, which would be the 110 account. If I get a green dot, so I'm going to watch this a little bit here for a second. No, not quite. So one more candle on Nasdaq. We'll go back to S&P. So staying on the S&P for now. Very slow price action, man. It's taking a very long time to move anything around, and it's just, you know, that's Friday in the summertime, right? Slipping down, so couldn't quite get up there. So we'll have to be patient. Nasdaq also kind of slipping down a little bit. But coming back up. Again, Nasdaq, if it gives us a green dot, it would be like a legitimate buy trade. So I am in my legitimate Nasdaq account just waiting to see if I could make a trade here. Um, 16, 416, it's 1.4 points. Maybe you're looking at NQ, Lee, instead of MNQ. Sometimes MNQ might have the different dots. Oh man, look at this. We just barely just went up to 50s and then came back down. It's just a really 57. Can we sweep the 75s? 64. Look how slow it is. Just like 10 contracts a minute. Usually they sweep these things all the time. Really, really slow. All right, whatever. It's just so boring. Okay, so I do have a green dot here. So we're going to go to select my legitimate 110 account, my NQ account. Minute 7, minute 6 to go on this. You can watch this a little bit. 55 seconds. I don't know why you don't have the white dot. I can't look at your computer. "37 seconds. Not really holding anything here. And that disappears, and we don't really have a trade. We'll see. We're going to wait very patiently. But it's clear that, you know, the market is just having a really, really hard time gathering any kind of momentum, right? Look at this. Nasdaq just disappears. So definitely not a trade. And now we have to wait for yet another candle to see if there's more consolidation in this trade. And the S&P is you know, trading underneath the 75, still having a hard time struggling here. Yeah, it's just, you know, there is nothing, you know, it's Friday. Nobody, just, there's no participation. There's no continuation. And it's just a fact, you know, fact of the matter that you can't always get the market that you want. We thrive when the market really is active and there's lots of continuation. When the market just kind of dies out like it is right now, it's, you know, it's just dead. That's why, you know, there's been really no trades in no trades in the in proper accounts. Just all been gambling trades because we haven't had any setups. Like if I go back to the to Nasdaq, oh, it hasn't busted my setup, but it certainly hasn't made that setup. So we'll have to see. No, like it's bust. It's going to bust it. This, yeah. And so now, you know, now we got puked out on the S&P. We were like literally one tick away from getting done and just didn't continue. Then, you know, that's why I put into my gambling account. Just no setups, guys. I'm really sorry today. Wow, today is really amazing. There's only like 2 legitimate trade setups today the whole time. Just really, really not a lot of price action today on the market. The garbage account is there for garbage. None of the trade, almost none of the trades in the garbage account should have been taken. But they're just there to kind of show you the theory behind the ideas. The ideas themselves, the setups, that's really the setups. We just didn't have it. We haven't had any setups at all. You guys want to have fun? Let's go NQU. Let's go to my let's see if I can kill my garbage account today. All right, this is going to be either I'm going to go back to even, or we're just going to blow this account completely. So I'm just waiting for this candle to close, because it looks like we really, the buying really dried up. So if I have momentum, I have slope, I'm going 10 large. This will be $1,000 if it works. And it'll just blow my account if it doesn't. That'll be like the perfect coda for today on my garbage account. But it's actually got to hold the dot. Oh, that's great. How did the ES trade get you home? I did not get done on the ES trade, Dr. D. Maybe you had better execution than me on the ES trade. That ES trade did not take me into the trade. Oh, did my thing go away? Okay, let's watch this. Let's see if this is going to be. No, I don't think it's going to give me a sell. Oh, yes, it does. Sell. All right, here we go. Super fun. NQU in the trade, 98.50. Do or die. I'm either going to get blown out on this account, which I probably will. It's always fun, or it's going to get me done at 93. We'll see. It's a little in this. 89. Oh, you did the red dot. Oh, you did the red dot trade. Oh, okay. I was doing the other trade. Oops, it looks like and there we go. Stop order filled and we got blown out. That's fine. That's the beauty of having a garbage account. The key thing is, look at this. This one I want to show you. When you have a garbage account, your real accounts are totally protected, right? You're totally cool. There's nothing to do today on the real accounts, and I stay totally green. This is like in many ways, this is a great example of showing you why if you have a questionable trade, it should go to your garbage account, right? That's exactly what I really want to show you. Is that garbage goes to garbage, real trades go to real trades, right? And of course, by the way, inevitably now, because it was such big size, and I was late, now that trade really works. But that always happens when you're over leveraged, you're taking big trades. You just get stopped out before you even get the target. This would have totally just a couple of seconds trade more, I would have been flat. None of that matters because that's all garbage trading. And that's what I wanted to show you. This is quality trading because this trading keeps you in the game while you're playing around. We've had literally no trades, so therefore there's been no game to play. It's great to have a garbage account, I think, always, because your desire to trade will always lead you to making bad trades in your good accounts. You might as well make bad trades in your bad accounts. Right? It's kind of, in many ways, this is like a really good lesson to show you. We always hit the targets, but I think it's great to show like what a garbage account does and the power of having it. All right, let's. We got another hour. Might as well, do one more garbage account. Let me set this. I'm going to do this off screen. Actually, I'm going to do it on screen so you guys can actually see how this is done. Okay, I'm going to log in. It's going to give me a authenticator. Hold on. I got to do authenticator. Here's what you want to do. I just want to show you the proper 333042. 333042. Confirm. Really? Oh, 9964531. Oh, wait, hold on. Shit, sorry guys. Hold on a second. 9645531. Confirm. Okay. So here's what you want to do, right? This account that we just, the 14, cancel it. No need to reset it. Just cancel the account. Just whatever. Other, cancel. This way, it's not going to renew. It's going to be nice and clean. Come on, cancel. And then you just go into well charts. Go to the 50. Make sure you put in BK save 90. Next. And then I'm going to do this off screen so you guys know. Rick, you need to do separate tabs for each trade. That's the solution. And it will save your brackets. Okay, gold doing nothing. Oh, unfortunately, even if this is a green dot, not going to be a trade because the slope is against us, right? Much as I like to do this, and I have to wait for my garbage account to start. See, the slope is red. It's not a legitimate trade. I don't have anything to do. Hopefully the garbage account will pop up real soon. And then we can take a couple of trades more in that just for fun. But I mean, isn't it interesting that we see, you sort of see that you can do all these experimental trades, and none of them are really working, right? I mean, there's a reason why the setup is a setup, and everything else is just garbage. And the only function here is just experiment, have fun, maybe try small things. The killer, by the way, and what was the killer? The killer was I traded large size, right? Again, I could have kept that garbage account for like another week, and I think maybe in this version I will. I'll just trade one single. I'll trade one micro, just for proof of concept stuff, for just ideas, just to keep it alive. Because I'll trade one, and then we'll try to repair it, and then we'll try to do it that way, just for fun. Let's see if I can get the account set up here. Not quite. Oh, there it is. There's my garbage account. So 115. Great. Let's go for 115. Where's my thing? Shit. Select account. 115. One buy. And where am I? What count? 115. And I'm at 75, and I'm looking for 75 on the sweep. Let's see if that works. Yeah, the marathon. Today was just kind of a freebie. If Friday is usually always the worst day to trade, and we almost never trade publicly on Friday. I just wanted to kind of do a lot of experimentation, talk a little bit about trade plans, and today was a great day precisely because it was a shitty day. It was a shitty day to trade. I showed you the garbage account. I showed you why it's so important to have one like this for bad trades, so that you can preserve the good trades. Like, that was the trick today that was more interesting than anything else, right? It's like, look at this. Look how fascinating it is. Why is this trade not working? Because the slope wasn't there, right? I took the trade, and again, the slope is not there, and it's totally going against me, precisely because the slope is not there, right? And we're actually setting up for like a legitimate sell trade here. Because if I have a red dot off this trade, that would be the setup. And then we'll go to my, my setup account and run that. Let's organize ourselves to my setup account. My true account is the 103s for the S&P. Let's do this MESU. We'll stay on the micro. Right. Let's see if that trade works. And it's MESU 103. Okay, minute ahead. See, it's starting to set up. Okay. 54 seconds left on this setup. It's a legitimate short setup if it holds, but it's got to hold. No trade so far. Nope, no trade. So we wait patiently for the next candle. If the next candle starts turning back up to the upside, then the setup is busted, and that's it. And we're busted on the setup. No biggie. Signal on gold. Gold's starting to get a little bit negative here. And see, Nasdaq also was red slope, negative slope, not a trade. So what's the lesson today? The lesson is that indecision creates very, very creates markets with no setups, right? And when we don't have setups, we force trades. We force trades into garbage accounts, but we keep the good accounts alive. That's the strategy, for real life. I know the strategy is to never force trades and never take garbage trades, but we're human beings. We're not machines. That's kind of like the look. Wow, I mean, look at this. Just going, like, one of the ways you know that it's just completely untradable price action is when we go from purple to white. That just basically tells you market really does not know what it wants to do. It's just, just completely confused. All right, so the short setup is well, it's not. Yeah, it's pretty much busted because we certainly don't have a slope, and now we're going to get the opposite move. Now we're going to go to Nasdaq, and Nasdaq actually has like a double green trade here, right? And if I'm going to go into my garbage account here. I don't want to go. I don't want to go large. But what the hell? Let's go 5. A large account. If I have a green dot here, I'll take my last punt on Nasdaq here for shits and giggles. But again, it's not a real trade account. It's just a gambling trade account because the signal here gave me a red slope, so it wasn't really a good signal. 59 seconds left. We're at 17. Nasdaq looks pretty positive. Yeah, this is, again, as I said, this is just a punt trade. It's a pretty weak one too. It's sort of like trying to hang. But if it does give me a green dot, I'll go for it. 3, 2, 1 dot. Okay. So in this trade, where am I on this trade? Oh, it's 115 position. Oh, see, that was super fast. So this is a good example. So it's super fast, and I went from negative to positive on this big account. I sort of didn't even get a chance to show you. So Nasdaq, when it ramps, it can ramp hard. Again, wasn't a legitimate trade, but was definitely a worthwhile shot here. And this is one of those kind of things that you can have a good time with. One of the ways like I can fund this account in the next hour if I just simply pick a few trades and do super large trades, like 3 trades, and you just get it done. It's very fun. It's a lot of fun. But again, that's not the way you're going to get paid out. So if your function is just to get another PA account, great. You can. That's the methodology to do the PA account. But then you have to go back to trading a much smaller way into the move. No, this account has been live. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This account has been trading $20, $30 trades for about 3 or 4 weeks. This account's been live for 3 or 4 weeks, so it's very close to getting funded. This is just sort of good technique, getting funded account. Okay, that's that's what it's all about. And now S&P turning back. Now you see it's really choppy, just zero stuff here. Having said this, though, we get no. I need a red slope here. I'm looking to see if the S&P is going to come down. No red slope here, so no real serious short here on the S&P. You know what kills me, and what might kill you guys, is that sometimes, so we have like these 3-4 hours where nothing happens, and then end of the day, like from 2 o'clock onward, suddenly we get big moves, and like every single trade sets up, and you get a whole bunch of setups. It's just the market can be maddeningly unpredictable that way. Right now, it's just been all flat, nothing going on. What's Nasdaq do with itself? Look at the flatness. We basically have been here to here, 239, like literally 40-point range for 3 hours. It's really just nothing. It's kind of a dead Friday. All right, let's see. We'll give it another 5-10 minutes, guys. Otherwise, I think it's kind of futile. We're just not seeing anything. Even this setup right now, not a true legitimate setup, because the slope is negative. Now, if it goes negative, that might actually be a setup, because you have a purple dot. Let me actually, okay, let's go to the real account, the 103. No, sorry, the 110. The 110. Let's go to the micros, MNQ. And let's get the sizing down to 2. Nah, not really. Still, like, slope is kind of red to green. Not a great setup. Yeah, it's definitely slow price action. Usually, the price action 10:30 to 12:30 has some nice movement, but today it's just been today's been dead. Look how flat gold is. Just nothing. Nobody's moving prices. There's nothing to do here, guys. Remember, we only trade when prices start moving, and this is, nothing is moving. So, what do you think? I think we should probably wrap it up. I don't see any great signals. Maybe we'll wait for just one last signal here. If this gives us a red trade, maybe we'll trade this. It will give us a shot. What's this? This is my 110. I don't really love this trade. Maybe we'll just do it on one sell. Just do one tiny little trade here. I don't love this, but it is kind of a legit trade. So we should give it at least, I should trust my process a little bit here. Oh, this is MNQ. MNQU. What's my position? See, even, you could tell that I was just, hesitant. So it's 22.50 on the entry, and the target is going to be 97.50. Let's see if this wants to do anything. Yeah, very flat market. Nah, markets really don't want to trade here. There's just nothing much going on over here. I'm gonna flatten out because I just like zero interest in this thing. You see, it's just not trading well. Maybe it turns later for me. I'll trade it a little bit later. But right now, it's just a really flat market. No need to press trades. We'll keep everything green, and we'll come back on Monday, and we'll look for for more directional moves. Anyways, today was a kind of a fun day, just to kind of explore all sorts of unconventional ideas of how to run trades and do stuff. But even setups are having very little continuity here today. All right, I'll see everybody on Monday. Everybody have a wonderful day. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Take care, guys. Oh, don't forget, let me just put let me put the coaching link in here if you want to make sure you get that. Oops, where is it? Here's the coaching link, and here's the Apex link. BK Save 90. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody on Monday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.